You have a switch inside your body. Flip it the right way, and your cells start cleaning house, your energy comes back, and stubborn fat finally starts to move. Flip it the wrong way, which is what most of us do every single day without knowing it, and your body just stores. Today I'm giving you 6 things backed by real research that help flip that switch back the way it's supposed to go. Stick around for number 1. It's the one almost nobody talks about, and it costs you nothing. Let's get one thing straight before we start. Nobody is going to regrow decades of cellular wear in a day. That's not how biology works, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you something. But what is real, and what genuinely surprised researchers, is how responsive your body's repair systems are to a handful of simple daily inputs. Things like fasting windows, cold exposure, and specific plant compounds can measurably nudge your metabolism and your cellular repair processes in a better direction. That's not magic. That's just biology responding to the right signals. Number 6. Turmeric, but only if you do this one thing. Turmeric's anti-inflammatory reputation isn't new. What's more interesting is curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, and its effect on fat tissue and cellular stress in lab studies. Several studies on human cell cultures have found curcumin can reduce markers of inflammation and influence how fat cells form and behave. The catch? On its own, curcumin is absorbed by your body shockingly poorly. Research has consistently shown that pairing it with black pepper, specifically the piperine in black pepper, dramatically improves how much your body actually absorbs. So here's the practical version. A teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a bit of healthy fat like olive oil because curcumin is fat-soluble and needs that fat to get into your bloodstream. Stir it into warm water, blend it into a smoothie, or mix it into eggs. Take it with your biggest meal of the day rather than on an empty stomach. The fat in the meal helps it absorb even better. This isn't an overnight fix. Studies that found measurable changes in body composition typically ran 6 to 8 weeks of consistent daily use. Number 5. Black seed oil. One mechanism researchers point to is AMPK. Think of it as one of your body's metabolic switches that helps shift cells from storing energy to using it. Exercise and fasting also activate this same pathway, so black seed oil isn't replacing those. It's working alongside them. Practically, most studies use somewhere around 1 to 3 grams a day, taken in the morning, often on an empty stomach. The taste is strong and bitter, so a little raw honey afterward isn't cheating. Some research even suggests the combination has added anti-inflammatory benefits. Buy cold-pressed oil in a dark glass bottle. Light and heat degrade the active compound quickly, and quality varies a lot between brands. Number 4. Raw broccoli sprouts. Not broccoli at dinner. Broccoli sprouts, the tiny 3 to 5 day old version, which contain far higher concentrations of a compound called sulforaphane than the mature vegetable does. Sulforaphane activates something called the NRF2 pathway, which switches on a whole set of your cell's own protective and antioxidant defenses. Some studies link this pathway to better stress resilience in cells, including stem cells, and to improved insulin sensitivity, which matters because better insulin sensitivity means your body is less prone to storing extra sugar as fat. The important detail: sulforaphane has to be activated by an enzyme that cooking destroys. So these need to be eaten raw, tossed on a salad, blended into a smoothie, or just eaten by the handful. You can grow your own from sprouting seeds in a jar in under a week. Soak overnight, then rinse twice a day until they sprout. A pinch of mustard powder added to the mix can boost the enzyme activity that produces sulforaphane, according to some food science research. Keep them refrigerated and use them within about 5 days for freshness. Number 3. Cold exposure. Uncomfortable? Yes. But the research here is genuinely compelling. Cold exposure triggers a release of norepinephrine, a hormone that does 2 things at once. It activates brown fat, the metabolically active fat that burns calories to produce heat, unlike the fat that just sits there, and it's been linked in some studies to mobilization of stem cells from bone marrow into the bloodstream, where they travel to support tissue repair. You do not need an ice bath to get benefits. Start small. At the end of a normal warm shower, switch to the coldest setting for 30 seconds. Add 10 to 15 seconds every few days. Research reviewing dozens of studies on cold exposure suggests the benefits plateau at around 10 to 11 total minutes a week, split across a few sessions. So this isn't about suffering for hours, it's about consistency. If you want to go further, full-body cold immersion engages more surface area and, anecdotally, feels more intense because submerging your face triggers a stronger physiological response. Breathe slowly and steadily. Don't hyperventilate. Number 2. Time-restricted eating. You've probably heard of intermittent fasting for weight loss, but there's a deeper layer here. Research out of MIT in 2018 found that fasting periods activated a metabolic switch in intestinal stem cells, shifting them from burning glucose to burning fat, and this shift was linked to improved regenerative capacity, particularly in older subjects. That's worth sitting with. This effect appeared to work better with age, not worse. On the fat loss side, reviews of multiple clinical trials have found that people who restrict their eating window to around 8 hours or less tend to lose a meaningful percentage of body weight over 2 to 3 months, with a disproportionate amount coming from visceral fat, the deeper, more metabolically harmful fat around your organs, not just the fat under your skin. Timing matters. Several studies suggest the metabolic shift into fasting mode becomes more pronounced as the fasting window extends toward 14 to 16 hours. So, stop eating around 8 p.m., don't eat again until noon. Water, black coffee, and plain tea are fine during the fast, but cream, sugar, or anything with calories will undercut the whole point, and that's the most common mistake people make without realizing it. Some research also suggests eating your largest meal earlier in your window, rather than at night, may improve results, lining up with your body's natural insulin rhythms through the day. Number 1. Cooled, resistant starch, the one nobody talks about. This is genuinely underrated. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that skips digestion in your small intestine and travels intact to your large intestine, where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Those bacteria produce a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, and butyrate has become a serious focus of research into gut health, metabolic health, and cellular repair throughout the body, including some promising early findings related to brain and bone marrow health. On the fat-burning side, clinical research has linked regular resistant starch intake with improved insulin sensitivity and better blood sugar control after meals, both of which make it easier for your body to access and burn stored fat instead of holding onto it. Here's the easy part. You don't need a supplement. Cook regular potatoes or rice, then refrigerate them for at least 12 hours. As starch cools, its structure physically changes into a form your digestive enzymes can't break down as easily, turning an ordinary food into a meaningfully better source of resistant starch. You can reheat it afterward, and it largely keeps this property. Cold rice bowls, potato salad, or reheated rice and potatoes through the week all work. Green bananas are another solid source. Blended into a morning smoothie, you'll barely notice them. Most research uses somewhere in the range of 15 to 30 grams a day. So that's 6 things: turmeric with black pepper, black seed oil, raw broccoli sprouts, cold exposure, time-restricted eating, and cooled resistant starch, all backed by real research. All things you can start today without a clinic, a prescription, or a $5,000 bill. None of them are an overnight transformation. All of them are small, repeatable signals that tell your body it's time to repair instead of store.
Pick one.
Start tonight. And if this was useful, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next.